while since updates about Niji Sanji, the most infamous VTuber Corp in terms of getting into trouble. And oh my god, things were popping off back in the day, right? Not even back in the day, like a year or like a couple of months ago, right? With Doki Bird and stuff. That shit went crazy. We got how a massive VTuber Corp is trying to hide a predator. Now that is quite the claim to say. Mujin, give it to me.
Well guys, I say it every time. At this point, it's a catchphrase, but Niji Sanji, otherwise known as Any Color, their parent company, is truly the gift that keeps on giving.
What happened this time?
The downfall of this company ever since the beginning of this year has been unprecedented. It's hard to believe that back in June 2022, Any Color used to be worth $1.2 billion. Yes, you heard that right.
Back then, there wasn't that much crazy drama, right? I think I remember a girl named Zion Lily or something. I was doing some research on Niji Sanji, and there was like this girl who there was a myriad of reasons. It was pretty messed up, and the way that the English branch handled her dismissal just went pretty viral because she then, you know, a friend of hers posted a lot of information kind of revealing what goes on behind the scenes. And then stuff started to really pile on, but back then they were doing pretty well. Like kind of, it was like Hololive and Niji Sanji or nothing, right? That was like the big two.
Billion, 1.2 billion. And yes, we're talking about a VTuber corporation. It's crazy. But the company has since then lost more than half of their entire value. And what's even worse for investors is that there is zero hope for recovery.
It's over for Yacht Man.
The downfall of Niji Sanji started in the beginning of 2024, back around February, when it turned out that one of their beloved talents tried to evaporate her soul out of her body, if you get what I mean. Mainly due to the very toxic work culture at Niji Sanji.
Yeah, this was really the... I don't know if it's the tipping point, but this was kind of like the final straw that broke the back, right? Because before this, there was other things happening. The turnover rate for each talent was crazy. You know, some confidential like background information was being revealed from insiders, and people were like, "Yo, Niji Sanji, the way that they handle their talent is pretty terrible." It seems like they do a shotgun approach where, compared to Hololive, the volume of talent, each cohort, right? They massively put people in, and then rather than trying to like build them up. Like maybe that's what Hololive does, where they really focus on the in-house talent and build them up. They just expect like, can you sink or swim? And we're just gonna do just bulk batches of every like half a year or something, new cohort, new generation, boom, boom, boom.
Mainly due to the very toxic work culture at Niji Sanji. This was a very big shock because prior to this, Niji Sanji was seen as one of the top VTubing agencies on the planet.
That's right.
No one saw this coming. It didn't take long for us to see how toxic they were internally though, because instead of apologizing, Niji Sanji put up some of their top VTubers to do a black screen stream, pretty much blaming the VTuber who almost lost their life.
I don't even blame the VTubers that were forced to do this because it's their livelihood at the end of the day. Maybe they are just corpo dick suckers, right? Obviously, you should stand with the talent for kind of cases like this, but at the end of the day, like, this is a job, man. You're owned by the corporations. These are not indie VTubers. They must represent the brand known as Any Color or Niji Sanji, and therefore, if your bosses tell you, all right, cover it up, blame your fellow allies, your comrades that has died. It's not our fault, blame them. It's just like, yeah, sure, you could, you know, it's easy for people to say you should take the high ground and say no and leave, but it's like, can you just simply walk away from your job because you saw an injustice happen? That's kind of like capitalism in a nutshell. You're shackled to the paycheck. That's your livelihood.
And getting massive hate for it. This was truly the beginning of the end for Niji Sanji, and they have screwed up so many times throughout this year that I had to create a playlist full of videos of them doing dumb shit. But even with all that, we've never truly reached a point like the one we found ourselves in today.
Okay.
A VTuber currently working for Niji Sanji decided to reach out to Fallside in order to leak the fact that there's currently a predator within Niji Sanji's ranks and that they are covering for him. There are many victims here, both inside and outside of Niji Sanji, and the stakes have never been higher.
I wonder how they confirm that the VTuber interest right now is a predator. They must have receipts like crazy. I'm going to assume it's just going to be Discord logs, random messages, right? Like, yeah, it's probably something like that.
We need to talk about this, so let's do it. But first, a quick sponsor.
Oh.
Ever wondered what would happen if we combined the amazing art style in League of Legends with an old school MMO game? Well, no need to wonder anymore.
There it is, Corp. Get your free first pull, blah, blah, blah. Go support Mujin for that, and back to the main content.
So much Artificial Core for sponsoring this video.
All right. Here's a link. Go. Click the link and, I don't know, help Mujin. Download it through using this code. There's a link. Go help him out.
So Astro Arcadia is a male VTuber that's part of Nijisanji's English branch.
Okay.
Nijisanji will introduce new VTubers in waves, and Astro was part of the iLuna wave alongside 5 other VTubers.
Fun Kaka TV lore. I actually kind of know this guy. I do. Know of him. In fact, I studied really hard about the Luxium group as well. The whole male VTuber roster. You know why? About 2 years ago, right? No. About, what was that, a year ago? No, it's been about 2 years ago now, right? In August 2023, I believe. Yeah. It was August 2023. I actually applied for Nijisan the auditions. I did, bro. And I'm like, that's when my YouTube channel really had no fucking traction, no growth. We were like 4,000 subscribers, barely getting any views. And I'm like, well, I think I'm kind of entertaining. I feel like if I had the corporate resources, I could be a top streamer. That's what I believed. So I applied. And the audition, and I studied so hard. I'm like, I didn't even know what the fuck the point of a male VTuber was. I genuinely didn't know. I'm like, so I did a research. I'm like, why did Hololive's male VTuber talent fail? And why did Nijisanji's do so much better in relative? Turns out the whole point of a male VTuber, right? The reason why Nijisanji were able to really sell their product to the audience is they knew who the target audience was. If girl VTubers exist for the lonely men, then the male VTubers, vice versa. You need to appeal to the lonely girls. You need to get all sultry. You need to be like Vox Akuma. You need to be like Kanashiro, Luca, right? You need to be like a femboy or like a husbando. You need to be one of those things and have like ASMR and like give the whole boyfriend experience. I cringed so fucking hard researching that shit, but I still did it and I applied. My persona, by the way, it was based off of, oh no, you're gonna cringe, Black Butler. Yep, I was gonna be the butler, and my idea, because I knew how fucking rabid fandoms get when you have male VTubers interacting or collaborating with, girl VTubers, I realized that if I put myself in the position of a butler, now I'm a servant, there's this whole kinky, like, some kind of, those kind of dynamic happening, the sex cells, right? So I already, like, carefully crafted this butler persona, this... to just go in and capitalize on Vox Akuma's audience by having these tea time collab skits where anyways, I'm getting off topic here. The point of the story is I actually did apply. I got rejected, but at least they watched the video. There's a whole audition process. You got to make a 5-minute video, try out, and I put that shit in. They watched it. They didn't come back. I tried my best, and now that YouTube's going actually pretty well right now, I don't think I'll ever be doing corporate VTubing.
They debuted in summer 2022. Back in February of 2024, as the disaster surrounding Selen was happening, Raziel Warmonic, who used to be a moderator of Luca Kaneshiro, a massive Nijisanji English VTuber, put out a tweet saying not to add fuel to the fire, but since I was close to a member of Nijisanji for a long time, I am absolutely not surprised it's starting to crumble. I was vented to about a male member from iLuna, sorry, I can't remember which, this was a voice convo from over a year ago, that was harassing and guilt-tripping new girls to the point that other members would go quiet or exclude them from their voice.
Power tripping. So the VTuber of interest from iLuna, that guy that we're talking about right now was... he trying to be a pimp? He trying to vet new girls of like, this is how you behave. This is how you don't behave. You need to understand these rules.
Chats. Yet management apparently did nothing and the members themselves had to self-regulate. She then added, I just got confirmation from another individual. It was Aster. I will not name who told me this. No more witch hunts. There were 3 male members in iLuna, and she had confirmed that she was talking specifically...
the left one, right? This guy.
...about Aster. Nijisanji was already under a lot of fire. This was definitely fuel to the fire. A day later, on 4chan, DMs between Aster and Scar...
On 4chan, of course. The detectives are always on 4chan.
Scarla leaked. Scarla is another well-known VTuber, also part of the iLuna wave, debuting with Aster. This conversation was painful and awkward to read. Aster was bickering about voice chat etiquette, and Scarla did not know how to respond.
Voice chat etiquette. I kind of want to read this shit. Hold on. Is there anything funny here to read? Explain. Why are you even hurt? I said that wherever we're in VC, okay? The attention isn't shifted to whoever joins. Same process happens when the same question that says, how was your guy's day? Someone answers before me, and the attention is set on them. How dare they? These peasants. Conversation keeps going. I don't want to interrupt. You tell me I'm too silent. Would you rather me constantly make random noises or cut people off to say, man, these messages are so fucking passive aggressive, man. And Scarlett is saying, Aster, I'm sorry. I'm just overwhelmed by everything. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry. This is so abusive. The funniest shit is the bold. What's definitely not making... I love that they bolded the definitely part in the messages. Not making me feel any more is a fair sheer fact that you purposely are ignoring me because you don't know what to say. This is extremely abusive based off of the first exchange of the messages.
Respond except for saying sorry repeatedly. Saying, Aster, I'm sorry. I'm just overwhelmed by everything.
Okay, the funniest shit is when people say sigh, but italicized in a Discord message. Like, I will never understand people who type like this. They have to fucking emote. They have to verbalize like their fucking thought process, like let's sigh, but it's italicized too on top of that.
I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I forget everything. I'm just overwhelmed by the messages. I don't know what to say to you. That's why I didn't respond right away. I'm not ignoring you. I just don't know what to say. I'm sorry. There was also another conversation in which she says, I'm sorry, Aster. I keep making you feel this way. With him replying, I mean, is that it?
Dude, this is textbook gaslight manipulation. And I don't know if this Scarlet person understands what's happening, but the power dynamic right now, based on the conversation, this is so skewed where Aster is victimizing himself, abusing his power, saying, like, I can't believe you've done this to me. And all Scarlet can say is, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Like, what else do you want, man? She's apologizing. And then within the span of 30 minutes, he kept pushing over and over and over, not getting a reply and saying, seriously, so you're purposefully ignoring me? It was clear that this DM leak was trying to make him look bad, right? Because all Scarlett was doing was apologize and he wasn't letting it go. It was certainly matching the description that Raziel had provided about Aster, guilt-tripping new girls and even harassing them. Knowing that this was 4chan though, many people were concerned that these were just
fake, right? It could be fake.
Fake. I mean, who's gonna leak this? Scarla? That would be an easy way for her to get fired. And Aster? Why would he make himself look bad? But then something weird happened. On the same day, those 4chan messages leaked, both Aster and Scarla posted matching hearts at the same exact...
This is so extra, bro. Heart gets 20,000. The VTuber culture, bro, the whole community, the fandom is fucking insane, bro. Timed synchro heart. Such cryptic messages. What's happening?
Timestamp. Right after this, they proceeded to stream together, completely unprompted, right? Typically, they post...
This seems to me that this is damage control. They most likely talk behind the scenes of, all right, our shit got leaked. We need to do damage control. We're going to synchronize heart, okay? Post at the same time, then we're going to joint stream together to give the impression to everyone that we are united in the front and the 4chan leagues are nothing. That's what it seems to me right now.
Post weekly schedules telling their viewers what they're going to do on their channels. This was not announced. This had happened all of a sudden on the same day. This made some people suspicious. Like, why would you go this far to do all these things
damage
right
control
after the messages leaked on 4chan? Are you trying to hide something? Did Nijisanji put you up to this to try and hide the fact that you guys have a terrible relationship? It smelled fishy, but there was not enough proof to really conclude anything, so people moved on. That was, of course, until April 2024, when Raziel, who was Luca Kaneshiro's ex-mod, posted a 58-page document detailing her experience.
58-page document. Oh, shit. Yo, 58 pages. Actually, this ain't even that bad compared to the Ratsu drama. Y'all remember the Ratsu drama? You know, Asian guy Genshin Impact against Tectone, the whole Hoyoverse fucking, the whole, like, you know, phase 1 to 4, and the final doc, that shit was like 300 pages, I think.
With him, and how he was entitled, exploitative, and abusive towards her, as well as other members within Nijisanji.
All right.
This is where, on page 55, she would include this bombshell under allegations. Here's what she had to
Ooh.
say. Astor Arcadia harassing other coworkers. I can confirm that Luca Kaneshiro said that multiple girls were coming to him about the issue since management wouldn't do anything, and he discussed it with both Elira and I.
And why would management not do anything? Why would they not step in to make sure that there wasn't this like rogue VTuber who's going mad with power and just fucking everything up for the new cohorts coming in? Well, I don't know, but my impression of the English branch, I don't know about how the Japanese branch is operated. I think they're doing way better. Is that English branch, their turnover rate is also high. Their managers, the handlers, right? From what I read, especially with the Zion Lily case too, it sounds like there is simply no structuring or any sort of vision for management, and they're all just kind of doing nothing. Do they even exist? Are they just letting, English branches run rogue? I don't know.
Elira being Elira Pandora, another Nijisanji English VTuber. She then continues, I personally told him to gather as much evidence as possible and bring it to management since it shouldn't be there, Luca's and Elira's job, to regulate this issue.
So unprofessional.
My understanding, nothing was done about it. She also showed a message that was sent to her by a Nijisanji English VTuber saying, to help you with clarity, I remember that incident, it was Astor. This was back during February 7th when Raziel had tweeted about the fact that someone from Iluna was harassing and guilt-tripping new girls. When she said, I just got confirmation from another individual that it was Astor, she was referring to that VTuber who had DM'd her on Twitter. This, of course, was a very serious accusation, but people were mostly focused on Luca Kaneshiro being a weirdo in these 58 pages.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with Luca. I heard he was, I don't know. It's just random shit I read. Who knows if it's true? Something about like pregnancy and, some controversial topics. Something about him like jacking off while on like voice call with someone. I don't know. That's the rumors that I've heard with this shit.
Rather than really pursuing this. Because other than this random Twitter DM, we didn't really have concrete proof.
Okay.
And besides, people were more interested.
This is what I'm talking about. Beat his meat in VR chat. This VTuber put his $1 billion agency on live support. And Luca, based on my research of him, again, I did heavy research on Luxium members, right? To do my market research of like, why are they popular? What are they all about? He was like, his own persona, right? Was like the happy-go-lucky, like golden retriever type, right? Kind of like an airhead, cute, fun, bubbly stuff like that. That was like his, persona, but behind the scenes, y'all gotta realize that like, these are personas, especially for VTubing, right? Streamers, flesh tubers, of course, our personalities, right, are enhanced. Like, I'm not always like this on, like, in real life. Of course, I'm playing up my personality and exaggerating to like a 13 out of 10 for the camera. But when you're doing VTubing, it's totally different. Because VTubing now, the whole point of it is that you have a different character you're playing. You are essentially role-playing this idealized vision of some sort of like character that you want to portray to an audience, right? Especially for corporate VTubing. So you gotta realize that at the end of the day, guys, everyone's just wearing masks.
Interested with how Luca beat his meat in VR chat without Raziel's consent anyway. I mean, the shock value from that alone was crazy. It made people slowly forget.
How do they know? Without Raziel's consent. So they're on VR chat. Do you think like, did Luca like say it out loud that like, I'm beating my meat right now? How do you feel about that? Like that? Or was it like the audio? You could hear it just like, and then Rousey was like, hey, what are you doing right now? And Luca's like, I don't know. How do you get caught?
About the Astra allegations. However, that all changed just a few days ago on December 6th, 2024.
Okay.
That was the day that Fallside had published this video titled Exclusive. Nijisanji English VTuber speaks out against Nijisanji English Liver. He had done something unprecedented. A Nijisanji VTuber had reached out to him from within the company to tell him that yes, Astor Arcadia is a serial harasser. This was the same Nijisanji English VTuber who had messaged Raziel and told her, I remember that incident, it was Astor.
Who is this insider?
Also sharing some never before seen DMs she had sent Raziel. Like, a lot of people waited for you to tell the truth for a while because it had been an issue, so I'm happy you finally did. Do not worry about those that are sending hate. This truth in the long run will help so many people. He then shared messages of that Nijisanji English VTuber venting back in September about Aster's behavior, saying, "When I had a mental breakdown and went to Twitch, it was because Aster was saying like he wants to fly me out to Japan, saying weird sexual shit, sex pesting my friends. I went to management, they wouldn't even speak to him. I was really considering graduating." They were
That's so creepy, bro. Sounds like he's just being really weird and saying like sexual shit, right? Trying to be like, what does he think he's doing? He's raising the girls up? It's just like unwarranted. No one asked for this shit. Being creepy, abusing power. And the worst part is the management. They don't do anything. They're supposed to exist to moderate their fucking employees. Yet, if they're not doing anything, who do you go to? You go to fucking YouTubers, I guess.
really considering leaving the
This sounds like some high school kid level drama. Welcome to VTubing drama in a nutshell.
company over this, but their manager talked them out of it. They then said, "Because it feels gross to me, like I feel like I'm hiding his behavior because it's not just me, it's many, many girls. A lot of my friends."
Yeah, you then like a really fucked up thing that Aster could have been doing is getting like being really creepy to a girl, but then having that girl then like kind of like blackmailing, having dirt on them of like, all right, you've done this with me now. Now you cannot speak on behalf of the other girls because of the dirt I have on you or something. And therefore now you feel stuck and you feel like a bystander. You feel like you're part of the problem because you can't speak out and you're kind of trapped in the situation. That's like an assumption that I have.
Also adding that Nijisanji was too scared to take any action because they didn't want more bad PR after.
Classic Mujin. Drain the swamp, bro. Drain the fucking swamp. Yeah, guess what? Bad PR. Sure, good excuse. Guess what? It's even worse now. Yeah, like them coming out and cleaning house is gonna be way better than letting it fester and coming out like this.
After everything that had happened this year. The name of this Nijisanji VTuber, who is a victim of Astro Arcadia, wasn't revealed in this video. Now, obviously, there were people doubting the source of information, saying,
True, right? This could all be lies. Like, at the end of the day, with drama like this, like, how do you verify it? It's all just based on he said, she said, and random fucking messages.
"Why would you want to censor the name? Revealing it would add so much more weight to these accusations." But in order to understand that, we have to, yet again, go back to 4chan. A little while ago, a bunch of different messages leaked on 4chan between that one Nijisanji English VTuber who had reached out to Fallside and a handful of their friends. Some of these messages were from that VTuber stream chat, but the majority were from Discord DMs. There were some morbid revelations, like how this VTuber was straight up in debt because Nijisanji had withdrawn all the VTuber model costs and the equipment costs from their salary. So after a
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. I mean, even back with Dokibur shit, right? The fact that she had to pay out of pocket, bro, to manage events and shit. This isn't new news, right? This is just classic Nijisanji. Just getting away with fucking up their talents.
long time being there, they still have not gotten a proper salary, barely affording to eat. Truly an incredible company to work at. But what
Everything for more yachts for a yacht, man.
these logs allow us to do is to cross-reference the messages shown in Fallside's video to the messages here. For example, if we take the message, "He wants to fly me out to Japan,"
Yeah, control find, control V. Does it exist? Boom, there it is.
we find it right here following the same timestamp that was shown in the Discord logs in Fallside's video.
Well, one has to then assume that, like, how do you know this is true? You know? And I'm willing to believe it, but I'm just saying, like, all right, y'all got random fucking videos, you know, telling about the screenshot of this shit. Now, 4chan has posted logs, but how do you know that these logs are legit? How do you trace that?
I have no idea who leaked this, but these logs paint a very dark picture about the worries this VTuber had of even revealing this information to the public. Look, the topic of Aster came up multiple times in these conversations, and at some point, one of the friends of this Nijisanji English VTuber wanted them to expose the harassment that they had endured from Aster to the public. They expressed shock when the VTuber was reluctant, saying, "I thought they don't fucking fire people? Like I was under the impression it literally can't happen." With the Nijisanji VTuber then saying, "If you do something bad enough."
And what's bad enough?
"But you are unironically a victim. Fuck them, you did nothing wrong at all. Why are we even scared? They treat you like shit. Some creep harasses you."
at the end of the day, it's all about the risk because this is your livelihood. And what you have to understand is that a lot of people here, right? Maybe it's audacious for me to say this, but I think that bulk of corporate VTubers, especially Niji Sanji, are extremely emotionally immature. I don't know them personally, but this is me making just a very broad assumption right now based on a pattern of behavior, what I've seen from this company. And to understand this, you have to understand what kind of people even go for, corporate VTubing like this. A lot of hopeful small creators, indie VTubers in the space, right? Everyone wants the stardom. Everyone wants to be an idol. Everybody wants that, that changing moment to kind of like make it. That kind of desperation combined with the fact that like a lot of these people are also anonymous. And I don't want to make the assumption that people who do VTubing are socially reclusive and have no social awareness. But I think that the medium of this kind of content, the type of people that exist, the desperation that, exist as well, and then trying to, do these like, what's it called? These auditions to get chosen. And now you're like a chosen, you feel special. And now you can get to stardom even though you had nothing before, right? I think this kind of stuff really breeds an environment where shit like this will fester because people start power tripping. People have no empathy or understanding. They're not PR trained. They're not fucking, emotionally mature enough. These kids probably have never held down an actual fucking job and, suffered the average 9 to 5 and understand like real world responsibilities, give these kind of kids the spotlight. And I think it makes a lot of sense why they would start crashing out like this. And also at the end of the day, right? Why would they risk their livelihood? Because remember, this is a fucking shackle you're bound to. It's easy for us to say, just come on, just say it. But like, what if that was your livelihood on the line? What if you have no other future careers or prospects because you do this, right? Those kind of fears and threats keep people from speaking out.
You get fired, ? Make that make sense. With the VTuber saying,
nerds trying to live out the high school bully life they missed out on? I mean, there may be some cases like that for sure, right? Where some people felt like, and again, like a lot of like anime watchers or people who enjoy VTubing, I think there is definitely a cross of like, the type of kind of personalities where they're social outcast and they might have been excluded from society and they feel like they're, they're cast out. Maybe some people would then use an opportunity like this to kind of like start power tripping and become the bully themselves. I don't know. These are, again, we're just doing armchair psychology here right now. I'm not saying that this is a fact.
That's why it's 50-50. They either ignore it or fire me. So this Niji Sanji English VTuber actually
and another part, sorry, I keep going, stopping Mujin, but another, I think, core component of the mental illness in the VTubing community has to do with the whole idol, the idol culture. Idol culture that already exists in Japan. You already know Oshinoko, right? You know how people go fucking rabid, right? The parasocial bond between VTubers and their fans is on another fucking level. And on top of that, the anonymous nature. The anonymous nature, you're playing a character that might not even represent you. You have crazy zealot-like fans who have these incredible parasocial bonds. Combine that with the type of person that may be auditioning and trying to make it as like a corporate VTuber, right? It's the perfect storm for power tripping sociopaths to thrive in like this.
Loves being a VTuber and they don't want to get fired. They had to quit their IRL job for this and they don't have anything else they can do at the moment.
Exactly.
If Fallside had irresponsibly leaked their name, their identity, then Niji Sanji would have terminated them, well, immediately, and Aster would have gotten away with it anyway. It's counterproductive.
Makes sense to me.
This is why I won't leak it either. So look, even with the VTuber wanting to keep their job, the friends of the VTuber were seeing this injustice unfold and they couldn't just not do anything about it. They wanted the Niji Sanji VTuber, their friend, to get their justice. This is why they reached out to Fallside. Here we can see a conversation with one of the VTuber's friends and Fallside. This was Fallside's first contact with this group of people. They agreed on a time to call and then went ahead and did it. During the call, the VTuber's friend showed him all the screenshots of the past logs we just saw, of them talking about Aster and the harassment they had to endure for a very long time.
Okay.
The call lasted 1 hour. On November 11th, the Niji Sanji English VTuber who was harassed by Aster had reached out to Fallside and added them on Discord, saying, "Hey, thanks for accepting my request. Blank told me he sent you some things and I was wondering if you'd be able to have a call with me."
Boom! Confirmed that the friend is a he, not a she. But that could also be, tactical disguise, nah. So it's a male VTuber that reached out?
This is referring to the friend of the VTuber that Fallside had called for an hour. And Fallside replied with, "Sure, not a problem. What time works for you?" This was when the VTuber would reveal to Fallside that Aster had done this not to just them, but to their friends, to multiple people. The VTuber initially thought that maybe he was just bad at communicating, but seeing the fact that he was doing it to so many people at the same time made them understand, okay, no, this guy's actually a creep. And
Yep, remember, if there's only one incident, and here's the thing that you see when people getting canceled, right? Whenever you see like, like SA cases for whatever, streamer or whatever, content creator, right? Boom. But sometimes there's like the benefit of the doubt that, okay, what if this is just one person who is a gold digger and trying to ruin, them out of spite or hate? A really telling example is when multiple people show up with the same stories or similar stories, right? That at that point, it becomes very condemning.
the VTuber initially thought that maybe he was just bad at communicating, but seeing the fact that he was doing it to so many people at the same time made them understand, okay, no, this guy's actually a creep. And he would vary his creepiness level from person to person. With some people, he would tell
Creepiness level from person to person? So he's like, all right, this one girl is a bit too shy, so I can't be as creepy. But this girl, acting is a bit more hesitant to fight back, so I can be more creepy. like he has like a tier list, like a ranking of like how much freak can I turn on in this DMs.
tell them, oh man, you should really come to Japan. We could hold hands, sit in the same hotel room, have a great time. And to some others, he would be more inappropriate, mentioning things like how they should be naked together.
Freaky ass.
Additionally, this VTuber had felt really guilty because they had brought one of their IRL friends from outside of Nijisanji to come and play games with them, plus some other friends, and Aster. After a certain period of time, that friend would then also receive inappropriate messages from Aster.
Bro, this dude is... No, he's not like an Andrew Tate. I was just gonna make the connection here is that he's basically just running a ring. He just has so many girls' DMs channels where it's just being creepy as fuck.
The guy was an unapologetic fiend. The VTuber also had shared DMs with Aster. They had streamed League of Legends together, and Aster really didn't like the banter that the VTuber had towards his jungling skills. The reason why this is significant is that due to the style of writing of this message, we can draw a parallel to the style of writing in these messages between
Like the passive aggressiveness, right? Like, all I've done is read a couple lines in the beginning of the video, and I can already tell that this guy is a master manipulator, gaslighter, victimizes themselves and puts the blame on the others and make them feel guilty until they're in a position they can no longer, say nothing but just say sorry, sorry, sorry. Man, your ego's getting hurt because someone made fun of your jungling skills in a fucking video game?
this message. We can draw a parallel to the style of writing in these messages.
But here's the thing. That's what happens when you're literally power tripping. How dare a peasant criticize me about my jungling skills during my stream in front of my audience? Like, it's not that serious, bro. It's a fucking video game, but here's the thing. It's not a video game to him. It's the fact that someone did not behave the way that they should have to me. They should know their place. They should understand the hierarchy that exists. I am Aster, and you are nothing. And you cannot talk to me in front of others to me in this way because it hurts my ego. That's all it boils down to.
To the style of writing of this message, we can draw a parallel to the style of writing in these messages between Aster and Scarlet. This
So
is simply
cringe.
how he talked. The pieces of the puzzle were starting to slowly come together at this point. Aster was manipulative, and he had many different victims to practice his manipulation tactics on. The information provided was already enough to shock the VTubing community to its core. But as you might have guessed,
Yeah, we're
things
not done
only
yet.
got worse from here.
Yeah, we got a little bit more left, right? We got like a third left. So we're entering the critical phase now. What did he do?
Here and escalated further. Aster had debuted alongside two other male VTubers in the iLuna wave. One of those VTubers was Kyo. The thing with Kyo was that he had graduated around the time the Selen controversy was going on. He was done with the company and left in February of 2024 after his final stream. In March, he went independent and became Quinn Bennett, and has been streaming ever since. However, shortly after debuting at Nijisanji, he had created a podcast series with Aster and another VTuber by the name of Ren. The series was short-lived, ending after 2 episodes, but people didn't really think much of it, assuming
Yeah, when a podcast, like, oh, they must have not got along at all, huh? It's always so easy to smile in front of an audience and, put out, a performance, but behind the scenes, do you think they fucking hate each other if they quit after 2 episodes?
Assuming they were just busy and moved on. However, that all changed recently. Because very shortly after...
Kyo coming in hot with nuclear drama. All I'm saying, there's a reason podcast only lasted 2 episodes. Let me guess. Aster was like, Kyo, I understand that you were the one that, hosting the podcast on your channel and being in the middle, but I feel like this is inappropriate. I feel like you're infringing on my rights and I should be the one in the middle and I should be the one getting all the attention. I felt really disrespected that you would, take all the spotlight from me. Therefore, I'm out.
We're just busy and moved on. However, that all changed.
Who starts a podcast with co-hosts you don't like? Oh, here's the thing about corporate VTubing, right? They do it regardless. Because, here's the thing. They don't know each other. When you're auditioning, you have no clue who the fuck is going to be joining your team. And once you make it through the final audition, right? Now you have, the cohort ready. And then you debut together. You barely fucking know each other. So this is basically just strangers trying to get to know each other. And trying to work shit out in the beginning.
Changed recently. Because very shortly after False Side's video, Quinn tweeted this, saying, all I'm saying is there's a reason the podcast only lasted 2 episodes.
Tell me more.
To many, this was a subtweet directed towards Aster. He was blaming Aster for the fact that the podcast ended so quickly.
What if it was Ren? There's a third guy, though. I think, I don't really know anything about Ren, but I don't think he's the problem here.
As you can imagine, this was a lot of fuel added to the fire.
Yeah,
Quinn
baby.
then proceeded to add even more fuel by deleting the tweet, making people want to talk about it even more, thinking that he may have gotten in trouble with Nijisanji over this tweet. But then he made another tweet saying this, never mind. I feel it's irresponsible to be vague given the circumstances, and to be honest, I want to stay in my own lane. Even if I personally dislike someone, that doesn't give or remove credibility from a third-party story. My opinion wasn't meant to invalidate or validate someone else's experience, which is why I deleted the post. Hope that clears everything.
You know what? Man, I'm so glad that I got rejected from Corp of VTubing, because if I went in there, could you imagine the fucking nuclear drama? Knowing how fucking petty I am? Bro, I would be just airing everything out. Just balls on the fucking table saying fuck every one of you. Just skeletons in the closet just being ripped out. A vague tweet like that? You know what I would have said? I would have just said, Aster. That's it. How long would I have lasted in Nijisanji if I got in? Probably not more than 3 months. Knowing the kind of person I am, if I were to figure out some sort of drama or some sort of bullshit, bro, crashed out so fucking hard.
And more fuel by deleting the tweet, making people want to talk.
Yeah.
But then given the circumstances, and to be honest, I want to stay in my own lane. Even
I would crash out, then I go back to my main channel and how I joined and left a VTuber Corpo in less than a month. I make a video and then I start farming again, bro. I would light the fucking building on fire, then fucking farm the fire.
Even if I personally dislike someone, that doesn't give or remove credibility from a third-party story. My opinion wasn't meant to invalidate or validate someone else's experience, which is why I deleted the post. Hope that clears everything up. But by then, the damage was already done. Quinn knew he could just move on from it, so he tweeted out, clearing things up, linking a Twitch stream. The stream was around 27 minutes long, and it was him talking about the situation at length. What he had to say did not in any way make Aster look good. Watch.
To hide this aspect of the puzzle piece. I really don't want to talk about this because if I don't talk about it, I'm seen as protecting a predator. If I do,
predator
as being messy.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I'm going to be as vague as possible. But another reason I didn't like this person is because there were some stories going around and some things I saw where they behaved weird towards women. Okay.
Lines up, and I wonder when this specifically happened, because their podcast ended 2 episodes in, so that's really fresh into their debut. So has Aster always been doing this before? Most likely, I don't know.
Nothing criminal, nothing to the extent of what has recently come out, but I didn't like how they seemed kind of like, they would like nag certain women about certain things, or kind of put them in positions to feel guilty, or
making them feel
on, like,
victimized.
newer members that were in the company and that didn't know about this behavior. Like they were not the most healthy when they interacted with women.
I mean, shit, that just lines up with everything we've heard, right? Aster going out of his way to, you know, be weird and manipulative to new girls and just saying creepy shit.
And I'm going to be honest about that. I'm not going to cover it up.
This was interesting because the wording he was using here, guilt tripping, for example, was the exact same wording that was used by Raziel when she spoke about Aster. This was lining up, but Quinn didn't end it here, obviously. He had way more to say.
Are the interactions between women allegations? I witnessed some of them myself.
What?
Okay? I witnessed some of them myself. Some of them happened to some of my friends. But I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say what. I'm just saying I didn't like it. I didn't like it, so I didn't like this person. Okay. Now, this is bringing me back to my original point. Should you guys even know any of this shit?
Yeah.
From me, should I be the one telling you this?
I mean, you're doing it, right? Clearly, you want to air some dirty laundry out.
Fuck no. Okay.
Well, there you have it. Quinn had seen this behavior happen to some of his female friends. But again, this was not everything he had to say.
Oh, we still going?
Since everyone is...
I love how he said, like... Okay, first of all, he went and say, there's a reason why our podcast lasted 2 episodes. Then he deleted it. Then he said, you know, I don't think I should be vague about this, right? I think that I should stay out of this. Goes live. Starts just fucking airing everything out.
Is making me feel guilty for maybe covering up abuse or whatever. I will say, in my personal, very biased opinion, okay? Take this with like 88.
This is so vague, man. Everything about this is so fucking obscure and vague.
800 milligrams of sodium, enough for you to like die from sodium overdose.
Whoa, go back.
Abuse or whatever. I will say, in my personal, very biased opinion, okay? Take this with like 800 milligrams of sodium, enough for you to like die from sodium.
All right, this is a very salty take incoming.
Overdose. This, unfortunately, based off of what I have seen, does not seem like something that is completely out of character of behavior for this person to potentially do. Like, I could see a universe where this happens.
As in, like, Aster is a creep. His behavior is very creepy. Everything fits. That's it.
Okay, is my point. It's not like I would never, ever see this happening. That's not how I feel. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you.
When the fuck will VTubers realize vague tweeting causes shit like this? It's an epidemic among VTubers, bro. I'll tell you, the amount of vagueness that exists in VTuber drama is so fucking spicy and juicy.
All right.
Now, it's really interesting seeing this chat, right? Because obviously he still has a lot of viewers that came from Nijisanji, and many of them are not happy about the fact that he's speaking out about this.
Bunch of fucking losers, bro. Straight up. You're getting mad at a dude airing out dirty laundry of a potential predator being manipulative towards women. And you're getting mad at the guy saying, like, I think this is what's happening. Bro, that's the thing about fucking VTuber culture. And no, it's not really VTuber culture. It's any fandom or community. You're gonna have radicalized, very extreme people that are ride or die for the brand no matter what. And they will fucking lick the corpo dick. They will get on their knees and start licking the corpo boot and say, oh, thank you so much, Mr. Nijisanji. Yeah. I don't think this is specific to, you know, Nijisanji or VTubing culture, but the parasocialness bonding, right? I think it's way more heightened, especially in idol culture. And because of VTubing and, you know, similarities in idol culture, you're gonna have all these fucking freaks, man.
Quinn, actually don't say that. Bro, you're saying too much. Question mark. Dude, just stop. Seriously. We have this massive allegation going on. He has a perspective that we're lacking right now. Someone who has worked with him directly, who's seen him interact with his friends in a weird, creepy way. And they're asking him to shut up. It's crazy.
Yeah, because these are not, you know, reasonable members of society. They're the most fucking... You need to go fucking touch some glass, right? I wonder if some people are like, no, if you do this, I'm no longer gonna get Aster content and my entire life will have no meaning.
His last statement here is actually massive. You see, if I knew someone and they were being accused of something, and I knew for a fact, nah, they're a good person, they would never do that, I would back them up and I'd say, listen, as far as I know, they had never done this around me, and I just don't see them doing it. But Quinn had a completely different thing to say, saying, listen, guys, I just don't see it as impossible.
Yeah, the fucking shoe fits. It's a tight fit. It makes sense. I could definitely see a universe where Aster behaves like that based on what I've seen. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Like, this kind of aligns with the person I knew. And at this point, with every single instance involving Aster over the last year, Nijisanji can't keep shielding him anymore. We need accountability. One thing that no one was expecting, including myself, is the fact that Nijisanji put out a statement fairly quickly about this, saying, "Thank you for your continued support of Nijisanji and Nijisanji Ien. Regarding the recent controversy, AnyColor has determined the following course of action. We have initiated an independent third-party investigation into these issues and will share the outcome with our livers and our community. This investigation will focus on the issues of sexual harassment and unauthorized information leakage to outside parties and will include a thorough review of company policies and their implementation. Based on the outcome of..."
Sounds like they're going for Aster and, you know, the people who are leaking sensitive messages that, you know, damages the brand.
This investigation, appropriate disciplinary actions will be taken and updated policies will be shared with our livers and our community. AnyColor is committed to a safe and community-focused environment free from any type of inappropriate behavior.
Cap, come on, Cap. Y'all fucking know this is happening. Right? A statement like this, it's because you got caught. Right? Remember, no one from management were taking action because they thought hiding this shit is their best idea to protect their shitty brand PR right now because of all the things that's been happening throughout the last year. And now you're coming out and saying it because it got even worse.
For all inquiries related to this matter, please contact AnyColor Inc. Now, typically when a corporation says a third-party investigation will
that means us. We're going to investigate ourselves and we found that nothing is wrong.
Take place, it doesn't really mean much. If you guys remember, that's what Mr. Beast did with his own company and found himself not guilty. Great. And what worries me here is that not only will they focus on issues of sexual harassment,
the unauthorized information leakage, as in the people who were brave enough to come out and speak on behalf of the injustice happening from within because management would not even listen. Now they too will be crucified.
But they'll also focus on unauthorized information leakage to outside parties, which tells me they're probably going to focus on the VTuber who leaked this information rather than Aster Arcade. We'll see what happens, I guess, but I'm not very optimistic. I can guarantee you though that behind the scenes right now, it is an absolute mess at Nijisanji. After Falside's video had released, Aster immediately set his chat on his channel to...
Yeah, whenever you have a sub-only mode in chat, it's never a good thing. Why would there ever be a reason to turn on sub-only mode? Well, sometimes maybe you're getting hate rated or hate brigaded by a bunch of bots or some, you know, outside source. But most of the time, this means damage control, right? Put like subscribers only mode and only subs that's been subbed for more than 2 years are allowed to chat. Guess why he's doing it?
To subscribers only mode. You need to have been subscribed for at least 24 hours before you can even send messages. He then posted this in his stream chat saying, "I will have to postpone the cooking stream. Sorry, missing some stuff and setup is complicated. Thanks for your understanding."
I hate the way he talks. I despise the way he talks. Maybe he is just like that. But even the Discord logs before, the way that he typed sigh, italicized. It is so fake. It feels so fake for me. Now, maybe I'm projecting. Maybe I am saying that because I myself would never do that. But maybe some people do really exist where they're all cute and ooh, 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 oh no. I don't know. It's
It's currently been delayed by around a week. So he's very well aware of it. Nijisanji has told us that they are aware of this too now. What happens remains to be seen, but there's...
Well, what's the textbook formula for an apology for situations like this? Here's an angle that Aster might come through. Now, assuming maybe he just doubles down and says, "Nope, I did none of that shit, and I'm right, and you guys are wrong." Okay, maybe that. But if he does admit fault, what I'm expecting is, I'm a victim. I have been abused during my childhood. I've been manipulated. I've been groomed. And thus, I have these shitty behaviors that I repeated to others. And I'm very sorry. I'm seeking out a therapist. I will be better. I will do better. And 2 weeks later, he'll return. Yep. Never take accountability. Victimize yourself. Make reasons on why you're the victim, why you were forced to do these shitty things. You're apologetic. You're going to seek therapy. Then you're going to come back. That's a classic textbook.
There's clear favoritism in Nijisanji. We know this by now. So I'm not very optimistic, but hey, I just hope that the people he harassed can get their peace. If something else happens, I will keep you updated though. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I really appreciate it. See you in the next video. Mwah.
No, I'm not going to Japan. Go away. But that's pretty much it. Another spicy VTuber. The VTuber drama is always so spicy, man. And it's not over yet. Phase 2, I don't even know what phase this is in right now, but the response, the investigation, all that will be very interesting. I'll be keeping an eye on it. Thank you, Mujin, for the video. Please, guys, check out Mujin's video. Here's the link. Give it a like, sub to his channel if you haven't, and I will see you next time.